Welcome to the instructional video, How to Remove and Replace a Graphics Card. After watching this video, you will know how to open a computer, safely remove graphics card, insert new graphics card, and install the necessary drivers. A graphics card, also known as a video card, is a separate component that is plugged into the PC's motherboard. Graphics card control the rendering of 3D and 2D images that are displayed on the monitors. Updating the graphics card updates the quality of the images displayed and allows for better computing because they have independent RAM and cooling systems which allow the CPU to do other computations. The tools you will need for this project are minimal. You will need a Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew all the screws on the PC. You will need a PC, and you will also need a graphics card to replace the existing graphics card in the PC. You should always take the following precautions when working with any computer system. Always make sure the computer is unplugged to avoid doing any damages to yourself or to the computer. Never have any food or drink near your computer when it's open because the slightest drop can ruin your computer forever. If possible, wear a static discharge bracelet to ground any static electricity that could damage your computer. Always ground yourself before touching any major computer parts, and never touch the processor unless completely necessary.
The first step in installing a new graphics card is removing the old one. You will want access to your graphics card to clean, replace, or repair it. The tool you will need is a screwdriver. There are usually two screws holding the case cover in place. Using the screwdriver, remove the screws carefully and avoid losing the screws as you will need them later. To take the cover off, simply slide it backwards until it gets loose. Once that is done, you will be able to continue to the GPU itself. To remove the graphics card, you must unscrew the bolts that keep the GPU in place. In the computer that we used, there was only one bolt. That is the most common number of bolts to hold the GPU in place, but other bolts might need removing depending on the case setup you have. After removing the screw, you should be able to dislodge the GPU from the rail mounting and disconnect it from the motherboard. The GPU we had was slightly tricky to remove, but the process is generally simple and requires no tools. Once you take the GPU out, you can move forward with the installation.
Hi, Mohamed here. The first thing you want to do is locate one of these metal slots at the back of your tower. We're gonna unscrew one of them out because that's where the graphics card's ports will stick out from. Next we're gonna install your graphics card, so make sure to fend off any static electricity by touching any metal surface prior to handling your card. Locate the small area off your graphics card that would align with the slot we took out on the tower. At the same time, the motherboard connection located beneath the graphics card should be inserted into the PCI slot in the motherboard. You may need to slightly press the card into place to hear it click, but don't force anything. Once the graphics card is in place, screw it back in the metal casing of the back of the tower. Make sure that the graphics card is firmly in place and not wobbling. And finally, we're going to reinstall the processor fan, which we previously took out. This should be much easier than the graphics card to install. Simply fit in the 4 screws into their appropriate places around the processor and screw them in place. Once the fan is firmly in place, locate the cord that connects to the motherboard sticking out of the fan and simply plug it in place. Make sure that all the cords are firmly connected in place because we're ready to reseal the computer and boot it up. And finally, bring out the computer cover and slide it back into place and then screw it into place.
This next section will cover the installation of the graphics card driver. A driver is a computer program that controls the operation of a hardware device, in this case, the graphics card. Installing the driver software will allow the computer to detect and utilize the newly installed graphics card. The first step in installing the driver software is to locate where to find the video devices on your computer. To do this, click on the Start menu, and in the white text box, key in a search for Device Manager. Find the application, and then open it. The next step is to click the drop-down icon next to Display Adapters. Here you will see a list of the video devices on your computer. On this screen, you can see two. The Intel device is the default onboard video that came with the computer. The NVIDIA device has been manually installed, driver included. In order to install the driver, you need the appropriate software. Many graphics cards come with the software on a disk, but almost all of them have free-to-download driver software available on their official websites online. In this example, we will opt for the downloadable software. Next, open up your web browser and in a search engine type in the brand name of your graphics card. In this case, it's NVIDIA. The first search result shows the official website. Enter the site and find the page that offers a search for driver downloads based on the model of your card. Select the appropriate options. If you don't happen to know your specific operating system or whether to select a 32 or 64-bit option, you can find out through your Start menu. Open your Start menu, click on Computer or My Computer, and then select the System Properties tab. On this screen, you can see the specific operating system and its system type. After you've selected the proper options, click the Download button. A prompt may come up asking you to agree to terms and conditions. Click Agree in order to download the software. After the download finishes, launch the application. A prompt should appear asking for a specific file destination. Click OK. The process of creating the files will take a few minutes. After it's finished, it will launch the installation program and run a quick system check to make sure that your computer and the program are compatible. After it is finished, it will prompt you with a software license agreement. Click Agree and Continue. The program will then give you two installation options, Express and Custom. Select Express and click Next. The application will proceed to install the driver. This process takes a few minutes, but you can monitor the progress of the installation via the green progress bar at the bottom of the application. Afterward, the program will notify you that the installation is complete and ask if you want to create a desktop shortcut or launch the driver software. Uncheck both boxes and click Close. At this point, your computer will probably prompt you to restart your system. If it does not, manually restart your system by selecting Start, clicking the Shutdown button, and selecting Restart. This will completely update your system. In order to make sure that you've installed the driver correctly, you need to again enter the Start menu, enter the Device Manager, and then check under Display Adapters to see if your standard VGA device has changed to the name of your new graphics card.